The 5 strongest men in the Bible. In the ancient days, when faith was tested and the fate of nations rested upon the shoulders of men and their devotion to God, there were 5 individuals whose strength, courage, and unwavering belief set them apart. These men weren't just strong in physique, but also in spirit, purpose, and their relationship with the divine. 1. Samson, the might of Israel. Samson, the most well known for his physical prowess, was chosen by God from birth to be a Nazirite, set apart for a special purpose. From a young age, his strength was unrivaled, and he would grow into a fearsome warrior for Israel. His power came from his long, uncut hair, a symbol of his covenant with God. Samson's feats of strength were legendary. He tore a lion apart with his bare hands, lifted the gates of a city, and in his most famous victory, he slew 1,000 Philistines with nothing but the jawbone of a donkey. His greatest test came when he was betrayed by Delilah, and his hair was cut, stripping him of his strength. But in his final moments, Samson called upon God one last time, and in an act of divine power, he pulled down the pillars of a Philistine temple, destroying thousands of enemies and sacrificing himself in the process. 2. David, the shepherd king. Before he was a king, David was a shepherd, but even then, his courage and strength were evident. As a young boy, David defended his flock from lions and bears, displaying not just physical strength but also the heart of a warrior. David's most famous act of bravery came when he faced the giant Goliath, a Philistine warrior who towered over him. Armed with only a sling and a few stones, David's faith in God gave him the strength to defeat Goliath, striking him down with a single stone and cutting off the giant's head with his own sword. This victory marked the beginning of David's rise to kingship, where he would lead Israel to military victories and establish Jerusalem as the center of worship. 3. Gideon, the humble hero. Gideon's story is one of unlikely strength. He was not born a warrior and saw himself as the weakest in his family. But when God chose him to deliver Israel from the oppression of the Midianites, Gideon stepped up in faith, trusting in God's plan. With only 300 men, Gideon led a daring night attack against an army of over 135,000 Midianites. Through strategy and divine intervention, Gideon's small army routed the enemy without even engaging in battle, simply by breaking jars, blowing trumpets, and holding torches. This victory solidified Gideon as one of the greatest judges in Israel's history. 4. Joshua, the fearless leader. Joshua was Moses' successor and the one tasked with leading the Israelites into the promised land. His strength was not only in his physical abilities but also in his unwavering faith in God's promises. Under Joshua's leadership, the walls of Jericho famously crumbled without a single strike from the Israelites. It was through faith, obedience, and courage that Joshua led Israel to victory after victory, conquering cities and establishing the nation in the land God had promised them. His strength was not just in battle but in his ability to trust in God's timing and direction. Caleb, the faithful warrior. Caleb is often remembered alongside Joshua for his unshakable faith. While others doubted, Caleb believed that God could give the Israelites the strength to conquer Canaan, even when it seemed impossible. At the age of 85, when many would have retired from battle, Caleb requested the hardest challenge, the hill country where the giants, the Anakim, lived. With God's help, Caleb defeated these mighty warriors and claimed the land of Hebron as his inheritance. His strength, endurance, and faith were a testament to his character and his trust in God's promises. These 5 men, Samson, David, Gideon, Joshua, and Caleb, each demonstrated extraordinary strength in different ways. For some, it was physical might; for others, it was the strength of faith, leadership, or courage. But in each of their stories, their power came not from their own abilities, but from their reliance on the God of Israel, who empowered them to overcome impossible odds and fulfill their destinies.